What if one food you still eat every week is quietly weakening your legs, clouding your memory, and aging your heart faster than it should? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which meats are most harmful after 60 and what to eat instead to protect your muscles, memory, and mobility with every meal. They say protein is power, especially as we age. And they're right. But one common source of protein, something many Americans eat daily, may be quietly working against you. We're talking about red meat. Not just burgers and steaks, but also deli slices, sausages, bacon, and even lean cuts that seem harmless. Most of us grew up believing meat meant strength, that it built muscle. And yes, protein is critical. But red meat, especially the processed kind, comes packaged with more than just protein. It carries saturated fat, heme iron, sodium, and preservatives like nitrites, ingredients that can burden the body, especially after 60. In a long-term study of older women, just one daily serving of red meat raised the risk of frailty by over 13%. And that wasn't limited to processed meat. Even unprocessed red meat had a similar effect: more fatigue, more weakness, more chronic health issues. Why? Because red meat fuels inflammation. And inflammation slowly wears the body down, from your joints to your arteries to your brain. Seniors who eat more red meat are more likely to experience memory decline. One study found that a single serving of processed red meat per day could age the brain by over a year and a half. That's nearly 2 years of cognitive aging, just from what's on your plate. Heart health takes a hit, too. Red meat raises LDL, the bad cholesterol, and increases TMAO, a compound that encourages plaque to build up in the arteries. That raises the risk of heart attacks and strokes and limits oxygen flow to the brain and muscles, making everyday movement feel harder and slower. There's also cancer risk. The World Health Organization classifies processed meat as a carcinogen, meaning it can cause cancer. Colorectal cancer is a particular concern for older adults, and red meat is one of its strongest dietary links. And then there's kidney health. As we age, kidney function naturally declines. Red meat, especially when eaten frequently, puts extra strain on those already tired organs. If you have diabetes or high blood pressure, that added stress can be especially risky. You might think, but I've eaten meat all my life. And that's true for many. But what felt fine at 40 often doesn't feel the same at 70. Your digestion slows. Circulation shifts. Toxins clear more slowly. That same steak you enjoyed years ago may now take a heavier toll on your body. Even lean red meat comes with risks. It still contains heme iron, which can promote oxidative stress. Think of it like rust forming inside your body. That cellular damage adds up over time and can affect how you think, move, and feel. This isn't about giving up everything. It's about making smarter, easier choices that support the body you're in now. You don't need to give up red meat entirely unless your doctor advises it. But reducing it, especially the processed types, can make a meaningful difference in how you feel every day. Start small. Trade steak for grilled fish. Choose beans instead of sausage. Try a lentil stew in place of meatloaf. Even 2 or 3 plant-based meals a week can noticeably improve your energy, digestion, and mood. Protein isn't just meat. Eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu, legumes, nuts, and seeds are all excellent sources that are easier on your system. These foods fuel your muscles and brain without feeding inflammation. Begin at breakfast. Swap out bacon for avocado toast. Try eggs with spinach instead of sausage. For lunch, choose a bean soup or chicken salad instead of a roast beef sandwich. These meals are satisfying and energizing, not heavy and draining. And don't forget how food is cooked. High-heat methods like grilling and frying create compounds that raise cancer risk, especially over time. Steaming, stewing, or baking proteins can reduce that risk while preserving nutrients. Studies show that seniors who eat more plant-based protein maintain better muscle mass as they age. That's because these proteins support the body without the extra baggage, less inflammation, better recovery, more stable energy. Fiber-rich plant proteins like lentils and beans keep you full longer, support gut health, and reduce those after-meal crashes. They're good for your body, your brain, and your balance. Worried about cost? You don't need to be. Beans, canned fish, lentils, and eggs are often cheaper per serving than meat and stretch further, too. Plus, fewer prescriptions and doctor visits over time? That's a benefit worth investing in. Your body still wants to feel better. And it will, if you give it the right support. These are simple shifts. Easy swaps. No diets, no fads, just practical steps that help you feel lighter, stronger, and clearer every day. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. And by reducing red meat, especially the processed kind, you're already doing one of the best things you can for your health after 60. And yes, you'll feel it. In your energy, your focus, your bathroom habits, the way your legs move, the way you sleep. Because when your body feels supported, it works better. When you feel better, you do more. And when you do more, you stay independent longer. That's the real win. Not following rules, but fueling a life you still love living. So, let's talk about what happens when you start making these changes. Not years from now, but within weeks, sometimes days. The first thing many older adults notice is digestion. Meals feel easier. There's less bloating, less discomfort. Things move more smoothly, and that alone can be a big relief. Especially if you've been struggling with irregularity, heaviness, or that sluggish feeling after eating. When your body isn't weighed down trying to process red meat, it has more energy for everything else. Sleep improves too. Heavy meats, especially in the evening, force your system to stay active when it should be resting. When you shift to lighter, gentler proteins, your body gets to focus on repair, not digestion. That means deeper, more restful sleep, and better energy the next day. That better energy starts to show up in small ways. You might feel steadier when standing up, less hesitant when taking stairs, a little more willing to walk to the mailbox, or get up and move just because you want to. Those are small wins, but they add up to confidence, to strength, to independence. And your joints? They notice, too. Reducing inflammatory foods like red meat can ease stiffness and swelling. Some people even report their hands or knees feel looser, easier to move, more cooperative. That doesn't mean red meat was the only reason for joint pain, but for many, it's part of the picture. Then there's your brain. When you eat meals that reduce inflammation and support circulation, your brain gets more oxygen, more nutrients. That means sharper recall, better focus, and less fog. You start finishing sentences without searching for the right word. You remember names faster. You feel more like yourself. These aren't dramatic transformations. They're steady, gentle improvements, the kind you feel over breakfast or in the way your legs move after dinner. They're signs that your body is responding, that the changes you're making are working. And it doesn't take much. A few smart swaps. A little less red meat. A little more variety. Replacing that sausage with eggs. Choosing a bean salad instead of a burger. Adding lentils to soup instead of ground beef. These are everyday choices. Nothing fancy. Nothing extreme. What's powerful is consistency. When your body stops being overloaded by red meat, it can focus on healing. And that healing shows up not just in how you feel, but in how you live. More movement. More energy. Less worry about what's going on inside your body. And the best part? You don't need to do this alone. Maybe your spouse is on board, or a friend who's curious. Share a meal. Cook something new together. Try one of the swaps from this video and talk about how it feels. When change is shared, it becomes easier, and often more fun. Try making a batch of lentil soup and freezing half. Use canned salmon for quick lunch wraps. Keep a few cans of beans in the pantry to toss into salads or pasta. These aren't just healthy options. They're time savers, budget savers, And yes, they're delicious. And remember, flavor doesn't come from meat. It comes from how you season it. Garlic, herbs, lemon, pepper, olive oil. These are your tools. And they're powerful. You're not giving up satisfaction. You're adding color, texture, aroma. All the things that make a meal feel like home. Now let's talk about cost. A lot of people think eating healthier means spending more. But that's not always true. A pound of lentils costs less than a single steak and stretches into multiple meals. Canned beans, frozen veggies, a carton of eggs, all affordable, flexible, and nourishing. Especially when compared to the long-term cost of medications, doctor visits, and missed activities due to declining health. You're not just saving money. You're saving strength, focus, vitality. That's worth far more. And if you're still wondering where to start, just pick one meal. One time this week to skip the red meat. Replace it with something lighter, and pay attention to how you feel afterward. No pressure, no judgment, just curiosity. Because when you feel better, even a little, that feeling becomes its own motivation. That's how change sticks, not through guilt, but through results. And your body is ready to feel clearer, move better, sleep deeper. All it needs is your support. So now you've seen it. The truth about red meat after 60, what it does inside the body, and how even small changes can help you feel better, move easier, and think more clearly. It's not about giving it all up. It's about knowing what serves you now. Your body isn't the same as it was 20 years ago, and that's okay. It's still capable, still strong, still ready to respond when you give it what it truly needs. Reducing red meat, especially the processed kind, gives your body a break. It helps lower inflammation. It supports clearer arteries, better digestion, steadier energy. And it frees up your body's resources to do what they're meant to do. Protect you, heal you, and keep you going strong. You don't need a complete overhaul. You just need a starting point. Maybe that's one meatless meal a week. Maybe it's trading out deli meat for grilled chicken, or swapping steak for a bowl of lentil soup. Maybe it's picking up a can of beans at the store instead of a pack of bacon. These moments matter. Every smart choice is a step forward. And once you start feeling the difference, even a little, you'll want to keep going. You'll start to notice that certain meals leave you more alert, more comfortable, more energized. You'll sleep deeper, move with more ease, think with more clarity. Because food isn't just fuel. It's medicine. It's information. It tells your body how to function, how to repair, how to age. And you get to choose what message you send. This isn't about strict diets or perfect meals. It's about freedom, the kind that comes from feeling good in your own body, from knowing you're doing something that supports your future. Think about what more energy would mean for you. A walk with a friend, a trip to the market without getting winded, time with your grandkids without needing to sit down every 10 minutes. Clearer thinking when managing your day, making decisions, or even just remembering where you put your keys. These are the everyday victories that add up, and they start with what's on your plate. So here's your gentle challenge. This week, cut back on red meat in just one meal. Pick a favorite dish and give it a healthy upgrade. Then see how you feel, not just during the meal, but afterward. That's where the change begins. You may be surprised by how quickly your body thanks you. And remember, you're not doing this alone. Thousands of people over 60 are making the same change. They're learning what works, sharing ideas, and discovering that eating well doesn't mean losing flavor or joy. It means gaining strength, clarity, and confidence. So if this video helped you, pass it on. A friend, a neighbor, a loved one, they may need this message too. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Because there's so much more to share, more food tips, more energy-boosting habits, and more ways to support the strong, independent life you deserve. You're not too old to change. You're wise enough to know what works. And your next meal? That's your chance to take a step forward. Thanks for watching, and here's to your continued strength, one bite at a time.